She said, "My friends think I can do way better than you," while laughing in my face, so I quietly moved out. Now they've all ghosted her, and she's begging me to take her back. Hey, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Thanks. We've been together for almost 3 years. Jess wasn't my first girlfriend, but she was the first woman I ever saw a real future with. I'm not flashy or overly emotional. I don't blow up phones with cute texts. I don't post couple photos with 10 heart emojis, and I'm not the kind of guy who needs to be the loudest in the room. But I show up. I remember birthdays. I fill your car with gas. I make dinner when you're exhausted, and I never stop being consistent. That was me. And for most of our relationship, Jess seemed to appreciate it. She'd say things like, "You're the only person who actually makes me feel safe." Or, "I don't have to pretend around you. It's such a relief." And I believed her. I believed the way she'd curl up into me on the couch and fall asleep. I believed it when she held my hand under the table at awkward family dinners. I believed it when she talked about how she wanted to raise our kids someday. But something started to shift about 6 months ago. And honestly, I saw it coming before I was willing to admit it. She made a new group of friends after changing departments at work. At first, I thought it was a good thing. Jess had always struggled with close female friendships, and she was excited to be included in brunches and wine nights. But these women, they were something else. They weren't evil, just shallow, loud, self-obsessed. The kind of people who measure your worth by your Instagram likes and your relationship by how dominant your man is. They called each other queens and meant it unironically. Half their conversations were about who was dating who had more options, who could pull a better guy. Their entire dynamic was built around comparison, validation, and strategic cattiness. I was never enough for them. I wasn't flashy. I didn't wear designer sneakers. I wasn't alpha. I didn't interrupt people. I didn't post selfies with Jess or buy matching outfits or show off our dates on TikTok. I could feel them sizing me up the first time I met them. Smiles too wide. Compliments too forced. That was when it started, the slow erosion. Jess began making little comments. "You never really take charge, you know? Don't you ever want to be more assertive? Emily's boyfriend just got her a surprise weekend trip to Greece. When have we ever done something like that?" I didn't think much of it at first. Everyone compares. I figured it was just influence. But the comments got sharper, louder, more frequent. One night, while we were lying in bed, she asked me point blank, "Do you think you've achieved enough for your age?" I remember pausing. Not offended, just confused. Achieved enough for what? Just, in general. For someone who's 30. A lot of my friends say their boyfriends are super ambitious and driven. You're kind, Ryan. But you're very comfortable. Comfortable. Like that was a flaw. I laughed it off. I told her I was proud of where I was, not because I thought I was done, but because I didn't measure progress by comparison. I said I believed in slow growth, not showing off. She didn't respond. Just turned off the lamp. From that point on, everything felt filtered. Every conversation went through some invisible panel of judges I couldn't see. I'd suggest a date night, and she'd pause like she was mentally calculating whether it was Instagram worthy. I'd ask about her day, and she'd answer, distracted, scrolling her group chat. I was slipping down her priority list one sarcastic brunch at a time. The final conversation happened on a random Sunday afternoon. She had just come back from lunch with her friends. She walked in wearing oversized sunglasses and a sweatshirt that probably cost more than my entire closet. I was reading on the couch. She didn't kiss me, just stood there like she had something rehearsed. "Can we talk?" she said. I closed the book and sat up. Sure. She didn't sit. "I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I feel like I've been settling." I blinked. Settling. Yeah. My friends have been saying it for a while, and I didn't want to believe them. But they're right. I can do better. Just like that. Better how? Someone more confident. More exciting. Someone who doesn't just go through the motions. Who knows what he wants and takes it. She said that like she was reading from a playbook. Like someone had given her bullet points on how to break up with a beta male in the most soul-crushing way possible. I didn't yell. I didn't ask her to stay. I just looked at her, then nodded. "Got it," I said. "Let me grab my things." I packed in silence while she sat at the kitchen counter, scrolling. No tears. No apology. Just a smug sort of calm. Like she'd finally made the bold, empowering choice her friends had been hyping her up for. On my way out, she didn't say goodbye. Didn't even look up. That was 6 months ago. And for the record, I never looked back. The first week was the hardest. Not because I missed her. That part faded fast, honestly, but because of the echo. When you spend years with someone, everything echoes. The space beside you in bed. The morning text that doesn't come. The "let me know when you get there" safe. I'd never realized how much space her voice took up in my head until it was gone. But after the silence settled, it got peaceful. I didn't block her. I didn't delete photos. I didn't make a dramatic goodbye post or subtweet. I just vanished from her world. Quietly. I moved in with my older brother for a month while I figured out my next steps. Got back into the gym, almost obsessively. Changed my routine. Got a therapist. I stopped trying to be the calm one all the time and finally admitted that the last year had made me feel like a ghost in my own relationship. I got a better job, too. I'd been working in operations for a mid-sized logistics company, but I'd held off applying for a promotion twice out of fear it would make our schedule harder. That fear was gone. I applied for a role with more responsibility in another city, nailed the interview, and moved in 2 months. In the meantime, I stayed completely off social media. I knew Jess and her crew lived on that stuff, so I didn't give them anything to look at. No breakup content. No glow-up pics. Just digital radio silence. It drove them nuts. I know this because about 3 weeks after the breakup, one of her friends, Rachel, the most outspoken of the group, sent me a DM. "So you're just gonna disappear like a coward?" I didn't respond. A day later, Jess is moving on, BTW. She's seeing someone who actually knows how to take the lead. Still no response. 3 months later, I heard through a mutual acquaintance that Jess and the guy, some dude named Travis, who her friends had introduced her to, were on a break. Apparently, Travis had a temper and a wandering eye and made fun of her in front of her friends when she cried at a party. Charming. But I didn't celebrate. That wasn't the point. The point was that I was finally living on my own terms again. I was waking up without tension. I was sleeping like a human. I started dating a little, nothing serious at first, but it felt good to talk to people who didn't look at me like I was a resume they were scanning for ambition metrics. Meanwhile, Jess had started posting more and more throwback content. Us at the beach. Us at a concert. Our old apartment view. Cropped photos. Vague captions like some things were real. The kind of nostalgia-drenched bait people throw when they want someone specific to see it, but can't admit it. I didn't bite. For months after I left, Jess finally texted me. It started casual. "Hey, been thinking about you lately." I stared at it for a full minute before locking my phone. I didn't reply. A week later, another one. "I miss talking to you. I know things didn't end perfectly, but I never stopped caring." Still no reply. Then came the third message. Longer this time. "Look, I know I made some mistakes. I let people get in my head. I didn't realize what I had until I lost it. You were always stable and kind and real. And I thought that meant boring, but it didn't. It meant safe. It meant good. I miss that. I miss you." This time, I answered. "I see." That's all I said. She tried again, 2 days later. "Do you think maybe we could meet up? Just talk? Nothing crazy. I just feel like there's still something there. And I've changed. A lot." I didn't respond. A week after that, Rachel texted me again. Yes, the same Rachel who said Jess could do better. "Hey, Jess isn't doing great. You don't have to get back with her, but at least have some empathy. She's trying." I sent one message back. Her problems aren't mine anymore. Nothing after that. Just more silence. But I could feel the reversal in motion. Mutual friends started messaging me. People who used to like every picture of her and Travis suddenly started liking my LinkedIn posts. Someone sent me a screenshot of a group story Jess had posted and deleted, a rant about fake friends, about being used and misled. The circle that once convinced her to throw me away had shrunk. People had moved on from the drama, and she was just left standing in it. About a month ago, I got invited to an engagement party for a couple Jess and I had once double dated with Lauren and Marcus. They'd always been decent to me, and even after the breakup, they stayed neutral. I almost didn't go. But then Lauren added a note. "It's casual, open invite. Jess might be there, figured I'd give you a heads up." I didn't reply right away. But something in me said go. Not to make a point. Not to stunt. Just to walk into a room I used to feel small in and no longer feel anything at all. So I went. I brought someone too. Her name's Nina. We'd been seeing each other for a couple months by then. She's sharp, funny, low drama. Doesn't orbit around social media. Doesn't ask me to prove myself. She's just steady, like I used to be before I started doubting my own worth. When we walked into the party, I didn't look for Jess. I wasn't scanning for her like I might have months ago. I was just there, talking, laughing, sipping a drink. 10 minutes in, I felt the stare. I didn't turn around right away. I just let it happen. Eventually, I caught her in my peripheral, standing near the kitchen, next to Rachel. Yes, she still shows up. Just looked thinner. Not sickly, just dimmed. Like the confidence had cracked and something hollow leaked out. She came over after about 20 minutes. Waited until Nina went to the bathroom. Hey, she said, smiling like she wasn't sure which version of herself she was trying to be. Hey, I said back, flatly. You look different. Yeah, been taking care of myself. I can tell. Pause. Is that your girlfriend? She asked, glancing toward the hallway. We're seeing each other. Yeah. Another pause. This one longer. You've really changed, she said. In a good way. Confident. Calm. I just nodded. Ryan. She started, voice softer. I was stupid. I let people talk me out of something real. You were the best thing I ever had. I didn't see it because I was so caught up in trying to impress people who don't even talk to me anymore. I know, I said. I miss you. I miss how you made me feel. I know I said some terrible things when we broke up. I didn't mean them. But you said them, I replied. And you meant them enough at the time. She looked down. I was insecure. I thought, if I didn't aim higher, I'd be settling. You weren't settling, I said, still calm. You were safe. And you thought that meant weak. It didn't, she whispered. No, it didn't. Another long silence. Do you think we could ever? No, I said. We can't. She blinked, trying to keep her face neutral, but her lip twitched. Why not? People change. People grow. You didn't. You just got humbled. Her mouth opened slightly like she wanted to protest, but nothing came out. You didn't come here tonight because you miss me, Jess, I continued. You miss not being ignored. You miss when people used to orbit around you. You miss matching. That's not true, it is. And you don't have to admit it. I'm just not the guy who needs to be chosen second anymore. At that moment, Nina returned, smiling as she walked over and gently touched my shoulder. Everything okay? She asked. Yeah, I said, without breaking eye contact with Jess. Just closing a chapter. Jess stared at Nina. She didn't say goodbye. Just nodded once, blinked fast, and turned away. She didn't talk to anyone for the rest of the party. Just stood near Rachel, sipping a drink, watching. I didn't look at her again. It's been 2 weeks since that night. Lauren messaged me afterward. Just so you know, that was the first party she's been to in a while. Most people don't invite her anymore. Drama followed her after Travis, and the friend group sort of crumbled. She burned a lot of bridges. I didn't ask for that information, but I appreciated the symmetry. Just wanted a louder life. A flashier man. Friends who hyped her up like she was the main character. And when the spotlight burned out, she had no one left in the dark with her. As for me, I've got peace, sleep, someone who listens, a job I like, a body that's stronger, a voice that doesn't stutter when I speak about what I want. She's not part of that life anymore, and I don't miss her at all. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button.